I've been aware of IAHL for probably close to 10 years, it would be my guess. I came across it, interestingly enough, in publication through my church. And I couldn't believe that there was a group of attorneys that existed anywhere that really cared about integrating some sense of humanism and spirituality into the practice of law. And that blew my mind. And that all this would come from lawyers that really have a bad name now and have for a long time. It's like an oasis. IAHL is like a philosophical oasis in the law. Holistic law is who I am. In fact, the first shingle I hung up, I've always been a solo practitioner, was holistic lawyer. To me, it's the way anybody doing anything needs to, I don't know how to explain it. It's a way of being. It's a way of being a human being, interacting with another individual whom you regard as a human being. And their life is more about this legal problem. In the instance of the mother and the two daughters that I was talking about, that situation was a whole lot more than the legalities around mom driving again. It was about daughters with broken hearts, that if their mother had severed connection because one of the daughters took the car. Maybe that could have been done better, but the intent was no doubt a love of mom and caring about her regard and the regards of innocence on the road. It was about a mother whose heart was broken because their daughter would do that. It was about wanting to reconnect and not knowing how. There was a whole lot more involved in that situation than that stupid car. That car was like the lightning rod of everything that was awry in this family dynamic. And from the way I do law, that's just natural for me to understand that and to know that and to act on it. To my surprise, as I've evolved in my profession, I run across a lot of lawyers. And to learn that many approach law and lawyering in not that manner was something that I guess was very hard for me to grasp. I don't know how else to explain what holistic law is. Technically, it means looking at the whole picture. And when you live that, as I do in anything that I do, whether I'm lawyering or not, it's hard for me to get that other people have more departmentalized approaches, much like the medical profession. You go to a specialist for your hip joint, you go to a cardiologist for your heart, etc., etc. They're only looking at that one little piece of who you are. And that's not the way I've ever approached lawyering. In the grand story of human history, two heroes in the law, and I never thought about this until I was practicing. One is Abraham Lincoln and one is Mahatma Gandhi. And I read volumes on each about their histories and their works and their philosophies. Abraham Lincoln is a role model to me because during his presidency he made it a point to appoint individuals that were entirely opposed to him. He wanted those people on the cabinet because he knew it would force him to look at all points of view. And I have great admiration for someone who can do that, to appoint as one of your closest advisors in one of the most powerful positions in the world, someone who has hated you, someone who has spent a political career opposing you. And that kind of integrity, I think, is very rare. Mahatma Gandhi inspires me as he has inspired millions throughout decades through his nonviolent methods and yet his dogged persistence to create change in as gentle a way, I think, as it could be done. And then I think about the two of them, where they were both incredibly strong people with a sense of integrity that is rare, and they approached their country's dilemmas in very different ways. With Abraham Lincoln, there was a civil war. With Mahatma Gandhi, there was nonviolent, resistant revolution. And I don't know how to put that together in my intellect, but what I do know is that something about their approaches strikes my heart, and I find value in each approach. When someone comes to me asking about careers in law, I guess I don't have any immediate advice, but the first thing that came to my mind right now is this what you really want? Or is this something your mother wants for you, or your father wants for you, or an older brother wants for you? Or do you think it's a way to just earn a lot of money and really not care about what it all involves and the people, most importantly, the people that you're working with? I guess those would be the initial questions that I would ask. It wouldn't be so much answers that I'd be given as it is questions. I certainly would let them know it's a ton of hard work, and if you don't have some kind of passion that's moving you through this very difficult experience, it's going to be very, very hard to survive it. That I have found that I had to have a passion to continually go back to, because during especially that first year, every day I thought about throwing in the towel. And I had to have a reason to go on and survive all of that. Going into debt by tens of thousands of dollars, studying till all hours, waking up and doing the same thing day after day after day after week after month after year. Something has to move you forward. And I hope to God it's more than a love of money. It's got to be something that makes this world a better place. That's what kept me going. I always knew I wanted to do elder law and be out there to help our older adults, part of our most vulnerable population. I guess that's what I would say.